Well, I've been having a lot of fun this summer teaching the ladies' Bible study on Wednesday afternoons. Usually it's Jean Carlson that teaches that ladies' Bible study, but since she had kind of a busy summer going on, I got the opportunity to do it. And it's been a good time. I really enjoyed teaching this Bible class. I mean, the ladies there, they're a really good group, and they even let me talk every now and then. Like I get to, every once in a while, I can slip a word in edgewise, so it's been overall a pretty good Bible. They're laughing now because they know it's true. And the cool thing is we've been reading through the book of Samuel. And last week we were talking about how amazing it is that there's all these great heroes of the faith in the book of Samuel. These great prophets and priests and kings and stuff like that, and that God uses to do amazing things. And yet we were just kind of marveled at how imperfect and human they all are. Like every one of them has just kind of regular, everyday struggles, the kind of struggles that you and I might have. They make mistakes and they have failures in their lives, and really, to be honest with you, it's just people like you and me. And yet God uses them to do incredible things. And we were in the midst of talking about just this, and one of the ladies just all of a sudden, just kind of out of the blue, started sharing with us the fact that she had struggles in her life. And she kind of went into detail about some of the things that she had struggled with, some of the problems, the trials, and the hardships, and mistakes that she had made. And it was so amazing because she's one of those ladies that you look at from the outside and you would never guess, right? You would assume that she's one of those people who kind of has things figured out, and they're like one of the people that you think, man, of course this person, and I'm not going to mention her name because she won't go to Bible study anymore. But this person, she's got it figured out. She knows exactly what and you would think that, and yet when she taught, she made it clear that she just had a life like the rest of us. And the most amazing thing happened after she did that. It was like dominoes. Like another lady then shared what she had gone through, and another person shared what they had gone through, and pretty soon we had a whole group of people all sharing mistakes and failures and hardships with each other. And probably the most amazing thing was, before this happened, and before this one lady talked, it seemed like none of us had any problems. I mean, at least not that we were talking about. I mean, we're sitting there in this big group studying the Bible, and nobody's got any issues. Until this one person talked, and then we all of a sudden realized how imperfect all of us were. It's amazing to me because a lot of times, you and I, we will live our lives like we don't have problems. We'll live our lives like there is just no issues in our lives whatsoever. I still remember just the other day, I was at the grocery store, and I'm heading into the checkout line, and this guy gets to the checkout line ahead of me, and he's going into checkout before me, and I said, hey, how's it going? He said, oh man, I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day. I said, yeah, it sure is. And I'm one of those people who, I observe things, right? My eyes are always observing whatever is going on for whatever reason. I just can't turn it off. And so I'm watching as this guy puts his groceries onto the conveyor belt, the things that he's getting. And I watch as he puts on, there's infant Tylenol, fever reducer, and there's a rotisserie chicken, and then there's some microwave potatoes, and then he puts up a quart of oil, and he pays for all the groceries with food stamps. And then after that, he's digging in his pockets for the stuff that he can't buy on food stamps. Like that, he can't buy the oil on food stamps. And so he's digging through his pockets and grabbing out every last little spare scrap of change to pay for the rest of what he has. And it's so amazing to me because the guy said that he's doing great. But his groceries tell a different story, And he says he's doing great, but the reality is, the truth is, that his baby's sick, and he doesn't have enough time to cook dinner tonight, his car is burning oil, and he has no money to buy food. That's the truth. But he's fine. At least he says he's fine. Isn't that amazing to you? Like we're all fine. Like everybody just kind of acts like they're fine. I mean, everyone is fine. You're fine, I'm fine, everybody's good. And your retired neighbor who spends his days working on his lawn and sitting on his porch, he's fine. I mean, after all, he's retired. He's living the dream, right? And I'm sure he's not one of those retired people who struggles with depression and a loss of a sense of purpose because of retirement. He's not one of those guys. No, he's fine. He's got life all figured out. Or that adorable little couple that lives down the street with the two little kids, the couple that they got the nice car, and they got the camper, and they got the four-wheeler, they got that nice house that's always in good shape. That couple down there, they're fine, right? They are absolutely fine. They're not one of those couples that is in debt up to their eyeballs and they owe on the house and the car and the camper and their student loans. They're not one of those couples that has money problems and fights about money, just like 75% of young couples nowadays. They're not one of them, no. No, they're the couple that has everything figured out. They're the couple with the perfect children, who are perfectly behaved, who never have any kind of health problems that might cost money or cause stress. They have never fought and spent the night in separate rooms. No, everything's fine with them. Or that single friend of yours, man, he's the one who's got life figured out, right? I mean, he's always going on all those trips, and he has all of those toys, and yeah, I mean, there are times that you think maybe he's lonely, but I'm pretty sure he's not. I mean, his parents are both dead, but that doesn't seem to bother him. He does drink a little bit, but I'm sure he doesn't struggle with alcoholism. I mean, he's fine. We're all fine, aren't we? Every single one of us. In fact, we're so fine that it seems a little weird, doesn't it? Just isn't it a little bit strange to you just how fine we all are? I mean, statistically speaking, you would think that someone somewhere is not fine. I mean, if everyone is fine, then like what happened to the 300 or so people that just lost their jobs in mine? If everyone's fine, where do those people go? Now, if everyone's fine, then where are the 3 million Americans that struggle with depression and suicidal thoughts? If everyone's fine, where do they go? Or if everyone is fine, what happened to the 40% of people who have struggled with or will battle with cancer? Is there no one around us? Is there no one in our town who struggles with like anger or depression or drugs or death? Are we all just fine? Are we maybe just in this room? Can we just take a moment and say that maybe we're not fine? Admit today that everything is not cool? That everything is not okay? Because the reality is that things out here are not fine. I am not fine. Like meth labs are in our town, and it's not fine. It's not fine that I have to explain to my son what suicide is. Okay, it's not fine that 50% of the men in the church are looking at pornography. It's not fine that families are being ripped apart by money problems and divorce. It's not fine when parents are fighting with each other and the kids have seen it so much that they're starting to think that it's normal. Anger is not fine. Death is not fine. Fighting is not fine. You know what else? It's not fine that I had to stand over an open grave and comfort a family as their 19-year-old daughter was lowered in this year. It's not fine. It's not. This stuff is the reason that Jesus says what he says in our gospel reading. Because Jesus steps into this world that is full of people who are dying, and yet they walk around like everything's just fine. Jesus steps into a world full of people who are dealing with sins and troubles and trials, but yet they all want to just go on pretending like they have peace. Like everything is just cool in their lives. And Jesus comes in and says, you know what? It's not cool. Jesus sees a world full of dying people, and you know what? He's not cool with it. He doesn't think that everything is going to be okay. Jesus did not come here to just keep the status quo and say, hey guys, whatever you're doing great, and you just keep on doing whatever it is. I mean, could you imagine the Son of God coming into this world and stepping in and seeing people fighting, seeing people dying, seeing people who are sick, seeing people who are hurt, and just looking at all of it and saying, hey, this all looks good. You guys just keep doing what you're doing. It's all cool here. No, we're not fine. Today Jesus actually invites you to divide yourself from people who think that everything is fine. He invites you to tear yourself away from the masses of people who think that everything is cool in this world and that we have peace, because deep down you know that you don't. It's like there's this line drawn here in the sand. And like everyone on this side of the line are the people who say that everything's okay, everything in my life is great, and I have no need of anything else. And then we step over to this side of the line. This is what Jesus is telling us to do, to say, you know what? I'm not fine. And I'm lost, and I'm hurt, and I'm addicted, and I'm sick, and I'm angry, and I'm struggling, and I'm dealing with death. That's who I am. Jesus invites us to realize that that is exactly who we are. And you know, brothers and sisters in Christ, if you're ready to move from this side of the line over to this side of the line, then that's really good news for you today. That Jesus came for people like us. Jesus came for imperfect people. That he came for people who don't know what they're doing. That he came for people who are having struggles and trials and hardships. He came for people who are dealing with sickness, people who have experienced death. Jesus did not come for perfect people who have no problems. Perfect people who have no problems have no need of Jesus Christ. No, he came for people like you and me. And he came to give us this promise that these things in our lives will not have the final say. Do you realize that Jesus, he bled for my failures. And Jesus died for your mistakes. And then he rose again so that you and I could have this promise, this singular promise that says that your mistakes, my failures, the things that we have done in our lives, the hardships that we have gone through, even the death that we will eventually face, these things will not have the final say in our lives. Jesus will. Jesus will have the final say when he raises us up from everything that has ever gone on. Jesus will have the final say because you belong to him. And there are no mistakes that he changes. Yes, you may be imperfect, but you are forgiven. And yes, the reality is that here in this world we deal with a lot of different problems, but in Jesus Christ we all proudly proclaim that, you know what, I'm not fine now, but the day will come when I will be. The day will come, my Lord will make everything perfect again. Faith is what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. Faith is what clings to that promise. I'm not perfect, but I am forgiven. I'm not perfect, but I do have a Lord who has promised me the day will come. Perfection will come. And I look for that day, knowing that it has been promised to me as God's child, and I pray that all of you will do the same. Put the niceties aside and realize and just confess with everyone else, you know what, I'm not fine. But the day will come. My Lord, come. Amen. And now may peace come. That passes all understanding. Keep your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. And at this time, we'll now worship the Lord with our tithes, offerings. And if you have not yet done so, please take the opportunity to fill out that red record of fellowship.